First-time home buyers, check it out. First and foremost, you should be aware of what payment you are comfortable with. That is something that you need to come up with on your own. As far as products that are available to you, we can talk about Utah Housing for the first-time home buyer. They do have income limits. However, you can have a non-occupant co-signer and we won't count those income limits against you. But just be very well aware of what you are comfortable with making every month, because when we bring in a co-signer to help you qualify, and that might be because some of your income, we couldn't qualify as effective income for the loan, but perhaps you still make that income, or you have a bunch of overtime that you make on a consistent basis now that you didn't have for 2 years, and so we couldn't count it. That is still a great option. If you yourself make too much money, for the Utah Housing First-Time Homebuyer Program, you can still qualify for the FHA/VA, and that is a first-time homebuyer program. You can do the Utah Second Mortgage. You can also do deferred down payment, or excuse me, well, it's 3.5% down payment that just covers the or loan that covers that required 3.5% down, and that's a silent second, so the payments are deferred and you don't pay them until the loan sells, and it's not that much money that accumulates. Also, conventional has great loan. Stay on Utah Housing just for one more second. If you choose to buy a new home up to $450,000, you can use the $20,000 grant. It's basically a silent second. Some or most of it will be forgiven over time. If you exceed the first-time homebuyer income limits for that program, you just move to the FHA VA and you still get the $20,000 grant for new construction. So that's pretty sweet. And don't be fooled by the builder when they say that you have to use their lender. That is not true. It's what we call steering. It's illegal. So you can still work with the lender of your choice, one that you've already talked to and built trust with. That's important, that you maintain your relationship with a good lender. And you don't have to marry a lender. We're signed with us at closing, and that's the only time that it really counts. Anyways, moving forward, conventional lending has 3 really great loan options. Fannie Mae has one called Home Ready, and that is only 3% down. That is income restricted, and so if you do exceed those guidelines, then you wouldn't qualify for that program. If you do qualify for that program under 80% AMI, then in Utah, most places, that's about $97,000 for the size of the average family here. If you're making less than that, the 80% AMI, Fairway Home Mortgage, so find your Fairway, favorite Fairway loan officer. I happen to work there, by the way. We kick in up to 2% of your down payment, or up to $4,500. So $4,500 probably won't get to 2%, but maybe 1.5%. And so you might only have to bring in like $5,000 to $3,000 to $4,000 or $5,000 at closing for first-time home buyer. That's insane. So the best part of that too is that on the conventional loans that I'm talking about right now, all 3 of these products, they have what's called loan level pricing adjustments on conventional loans. And as a first-time home buyer, meaning you haven't owned a home in 3 years or been on title in 3 years, all of your adjustments based on maybe a lower FICO score or a lower down payment, obviously first-time home buyer, you're only putting 3% down, maybe 5% if you have that co-signer in some circumstances. But all of those are waived, and then furthermore, the required mortgage insurance is lower. So if you meet that, you're going to have the best interest rate you can get on conventional, and most likely a very low mortgage insurance rate. So this is going to help you qualify for more. But just also, I want to go back again to what payment you're comfortable with. That is the most important part here, is that you are comfortable with the payment and you can provide for your family, still take your wife on a date or your husband, whatever it may be, but also get into homeownership, because you will be 40 times wealthier than the average renter in the United States. The average wealth for homeowner in America is $400,000. The average wealth for a renter in America is $10,000. So there's a disparate difference there that we can help bridge that gap for you. Just make sure you're being responsible. The next product, Home Possible, it's through Freddie Mac. It's very much like the Fannie Mae. There's some slight differences, nothing to be concerned about right now. The last one that I want to talk about is from Freddie Mac, and it's called Home One. That you cannot have a cosigner, and you can only buy a 1-unit property. However, there's no income restrictions on that one, and that's still only 3% down. So best interest rate because you're a first-time home buyer, low mortgage insurance, and that one's actually a tick higher. That one's 0.35 required on the mortgage insurance. Home Ready, Home Possible, those are 0.25. All of them are still about half or less than FHA. So the rate's probably going to be a tick or two higher than FHA. However, you're not going to have upfront mortgage insurance premium of 1.75% of the loan amount. That's a lot that goes into the loan on FHA, even first-time home buyers. So you won't have that. Your rate will be awfully close to FHA. Utah Housing sets their own rate, so it's possible that a conventional rate could match or very close match the FHA Utah Housing rate. And those are expensive to buy down too, by the way. So going conventional, no upfront mortgage insurance, the rate is nearly the close, the mortgage insurance is lower, and just a screaming deal. So anyhow, I hope that this information has helped, and what I more so like to do is meet with individuals one-on-one so we can answer your specific questions that you have, give you an edge to, if you're a realtor, to go out and share this information, because people just don't know. Pretty much every first-time home buyer I close, they tell me, we didn't know we could even buy a house. We didn't know it was available at all. So anyhow, realtors, meet with me one-to-one. Let's find out how we can game plan to help you share this information and bless more lives. First-time home buyers, give me a call directly. Let's chat. There's a fire hose of information, especially new. So more than likely, what I'll do is I'll just hear your story, and then I will use the matrix in my brain to help put you in the right product and get you guys on your way to homeownership. Get you mowing those lawns every Saturday morning like the rest of us. All right, have a great day.